We got about we got about 20 local media members in here, all your normal faces, the writers, the TV guys, the radio people, even Mike Taylor in Hawaii. We were just talking about how much you're a Hawaii fan. But I gave them a little background on the project, but I wanted you to kind of do the reveal. So I think it's best if you just start out and just introduce, what this whole thing is and where it came from. So I'll let you have the floor.
You gave him a little rundown already, bro. You broke the news before I did. Or what?
No, I didn't break the news. I just gave him a little foundation.
Set the basis. I love it.
Set the basis.
Well, it's good to see everyone. I know you guys probably miss us. I see a lot of familiar faces around there. Hope you guys are all doing well and healthy and safe, first of all. I see a lot of non-haircuts, which is good to see, and big beards over there, Jeff. Nice one, mate. Salt and pepper looking good, mate. Yeah, this is cool, guys. Thanks for jumping on. This has been a really special journey that we've been on, to be able to build something that has meant a lot, and especially to me, who's been so much a part of the San Antonio community now for quite some time. But basically what we have done is that we have created a coffee drive for Mother's Day. And so this Sunday, today's Friday, Saturday, this Sunday, we are encouraging the San Antonio community to shop small at 8 participating local coffee shops. And the idea is to buy coffees, food, merch, absolutely anything at all from these coffee shops. And by supporting these small local businesses, I will not only match, but I will double the revenue that all the coffee shops will make and donate that to the Battered Women and Children's Shelter in San Antonio. So their name of the charity is the Family Violence and Prevention Services of Battered Women and Children's Shelter. And I'm hoping that when people get amongst this and are able to participate in this campaign, by getting the community involved, being able to spread some good vibes this way. I would love people to post photos so I can see them by using the hashtag #GiveMamaCoffee. And that way there's a chance there that people might be able to appear in a coffee gang virtual Zoom call hang with myself. So that's the deal that we got on. It's happening this Sunday, Mother's Day, and the hours are going to be from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Thanks, Patty. We'll give them a second to digest that, and then they're able to actually raise their hands on Zoom, which is pretty cool. And then I can unmute them so that they can interact. And our first question is from Tom James. Go ahead, TJ.
Hello, Patrick. This is awesome. Just one question for everybody that's on the call, media-wise. Jordan, you will, as soon as we're done, send this group a list of details, meaning the 8 participating coffee shops, the times, and all that. So everybody will get that information from you, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. I'll give all the specs on it and as well as this video. So I can send a follow-up email for that. Jackie Wang, Rivard Report. Go ahead, kick us off.
Hi, Patty. Thanks so much for talking to us today. Wanted to ask, this is definitely something that law enforcement and city council and county officials have talked about being a problem, domestic violence rising during the pandemic. And I totally understand why you'd want to fundraise for that. This is a very unusual model, though. So I was wondering what inspired you to fundraise for specifically the Battered Women's Shelter, and how did you decide to loop in like small businesses to be part of that?
Yeah, it is an unusual model, I guess. But given the unusual circumstances, I think we're just trying to work with what we've got and try to be able to do something to be able to set an example as the San Antonio Spurs and as a player of the San Antonio Spurs, to be able to involve the community, to be able to give back to our community. And the numbers and stats that have come across throughout domestic violence and how that has impacted our community directly, but not only our community directly, obviously right throughout the country and right throughout the globe. We have heard from the CEO of the Texas Council, Gloria Terry. We have heard from the United Nations making urgent call-outs, and the Consulate General too, that has also been able to shed light on this. So when you're talking about our community directly, and the numbers that have occurred pre-pandemic, the numbers are very high. 2019, for example, San Antonio, Bexar County had the highest number of family violence-related homicides at 29, I believe. And now that the pandemic has hit, the reports have been an 18% increase just because of the quarantine and the lockdown. So, throughout that and finding a way to be able to make an impact that way, I think is important and needs to be done. Again, finding the positives and the unique ways to come up with something throughout this situation is important, obviously. But in the same, I guess, breath and answer to your question, and sorry for dragging this out, but I think it's important. What I've learned from my conversations and research is that the majority of victims of family violence isn't women. In fact, it's children. Children suffer the most when they live in a home with domestic violence. So they both coexist. Family violence and domestic violence and child abuse. So I guess this is where it really resonates with me and how I can make an impact, because to make an impact on this issue directly, what we need to do is take preventative actions. And for me, doing that, the most important thing, I think, is that we must teach our youth respect so that they can then give respect. And I think that's the most important thing. So I think what gets missed along the way is the fact that when we raise children, we're raising the next set of parents. And that's something that really resonates with me when the time comes for us to have kids, that will be the mindset, is respect first and foremost before anything else.
Thank you, Jackie. We'll kick it over to Mike Taylor, Ticket 760 Radio. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Patty. You kind of touched on this just a second ago, but I was going to ask, why, of all the things and all the data and the people that need help in organizations, why did this one? Why did you personally choose to help this particular group?
I think it's one that has, again, like I said, not only been an issue pre-pandemic, but has heightened and increased even more once the pandemic hit. So for me, trying to tie a few different things with that and more, as well as being able to support local businesses, as we all know how that is going and how that has impacted our community. But the general consensus on top of that is just being able to find a way to be able to bring our community together, to be able to find something that they can look forward to at the same time by really making an impact for the better of our community.
Cool. We'll go to David Flores, Ken's 5. Go ahead, David.
Patty, how you doing? Patty, do you think this is something, I know you touched on it, but do you think this is something that's really been overlooked during the pandemic? Because everybody talks about, being shut in and when are we going to open it up? And then, the economic, people are hurting and stuff. But yet they never. It's like the elephant in the room. Nobody talks about it, and stuff. Do you think that's one thing nationally? We talk about San Antonio, but nationally, that this is something that it's an epidemic of its own that just people don't even think about.
No question at all. It's definitely been overlooked. That's my opinion, and how it's been handled, not only nationally, mate, but globally. And of course the involvement of the United Nations making this a call too. So I think what I'm trying to do here is just be able to, number one, support our community and make an impact in our community. But what I'm really hoping that would, this would do is be able to have a little bit of a domino effect on the rest of the country and throughout the world. And I think by using this kind of unique model in this way can hopefully trigger some of that, because this is a global issue and a global issue that has been overlooked, as you said.
Thank you, Flores. Jeff McDonald, San Antonio Express News. Go ahead.
What's up, sir? How you doing?
Good, mate.
Yeah, hanging in there. You noticed my it's a little whiter than I remembered. I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious if you're planning on making a purchase between 7 and 2 o'clock on Mother's Day and kind of kicking that off somewhere.
Of course, mate. I can't create this campaign and then not make an appearance. So I'll be making a little surprise visit. Gotta get my coffee. I'll be shouting my mum a virtual coffee. She's back in Australia, but yeah.
What's your go-to coffee?
It's a good question, mate, because I've had this asked just yesterday actually. But it's the go-to is a flat white. I have a double espresso when I work out. So whether it's pre-workout or during workout, so at halftime, for example, of a game. But then if I'm relaxing and want a consistent little sip away, then it's a good house blend.
All right.
That answer your question?
Sort of.
You didn't understand any of that. Matt Tynan with The Athletic. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Patty, man. Thanks for doing this. Is there anything in particular from your background or from people maybe in your family or friends, your circle, that have gone through these types of issues? Obviously, this pandemic is bigger than anything we've seen in a very long time, but just in your experience, in your lifetime, is this something that has kind of guided you toward this mission?
No, not necessarily, mate. I mean, obviously, everyone's been, I think, affected or know people that have been affected at some point along the line, as this is a global issue. But that hasn't spearheaded the cause. I think directly speaking to the San Antonio community and how I can make an impact, that's what's really driven. And I think, being the longest tenured member of the San Antonio Spurs is something that I'm proud of, and something that I also feel a responsibility as well. So again, look, it's just being able to use my platform to be able to bring people together, share some good vibes, but at the same time, really make an impact on the things that really matter. And if I was to be honest with you, mate, I think all of these things that happen, right, is what I've learned on a daily basis from our coach and Pop, and making sure that we understand as players that there's a big world out there, and we need to broaden our vision, I guess, and this is one of those examples, especially for our community here.
Thanks, Patty. James Pleasure, ESPN 1250. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Patty, thanks for doing this. I was wondering how you came about the idea of coffee. I know my mom loves coffee, and I'm actually Amazoning her some, and I'm probably going to go out and swing out and buy some now at one of these 8 coffee shops and send her some more. But, my mom loves coffee. I was wondering if there's any reason, it's the coffee shops, local coffee shops, that is part of the awareness campaign.
Yeah, I think, like I said, and what was referred from Jackie earlier, was that this is a unique campaign, and because of the unique situations, and I think, and I'm hoping that this can be a model that can be a trailblazer for other people in our community, more so than just, our team and my teammates. So I think being able to pick something that is like coffee, right? That can show that this model can work and will work. But then, after that, then it's endless, right? The amount of things that we can help, whether it's local restaurants, pizza places, juice places, bakeries, right? I think that's the essence of why this is so unique. So let's just pick something, and hopefully this can grow into these other categories to make a larger impact throughout our community. So this isn't a one-hit wonder in my eyes. I feel like this is just the start of hopefully what can catch on and make a bigger impact throughout San Antonio.
Thanks, Patty. Jeff Garcia, all the way from New York, but WOAF 4. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Patty. How you doing?
Good, mate.
First question is, how have the participating coffee shops, so there's been their reaction, and will any members of the coffee gang be participating?
Sorry, mate, I couldn't catch it there for the first part of that. Do you mind repeating that?
Yeah, no problem. How has the reception been from the businesses, the coffee shops, that is, their reaction, their involvement, their reaction, and any members of the coffee gang participating?
Yeah, it's a great question, mate, because this has really been awesome feedback that has made me feel good about doing this. So from a small business standpoint, what it has done is it's brought the coffee community together, which actually hasn't been done before. And I assume just because of how busy they are in their own respective businesses. So I got them all on a Zoom call so that they could meet everyone and kind of see familiar faces and they can see who's involved in this thing. So that was the first thing that was that stood out to them, that number one, taking this, tough time and being able to bring people together has forced them to reach out to other coffee shops to bring their, coffee environment community together, number one. So the feedback from them has been unreal, and the amount of work and effort that they've gone in on their end to be able to pull this off. For example, a lot of these coffee shops, some of these coffee shops don't even open on Sundays. So they're coming in because they feel like this is a great cause. Some of them don't open as early as 7 o'clock if they open on Sunday. So we're doing a 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Time span. But this is obviously an all-day thing. So if people want to head to their website, then that's another chance to be able to purchase. But they feel the good in it. And the same thing with the CEO of the Family Violence Prevention Services, Marta, had awesome conversations with her, and that is definitely one highlight of this journey that has been emotional, but really impactful, that will be a big highlight of this journey, and we haven't really kicked this off already. So the feedback from the community that everyone involved has been awesome. And the second question was about Coffee Gang. We'll see if we can do this right. We might be able to drag them out of their dungeons.
Patty's been working on this more than anybody himself. He visited all 8 coffee shops yesterday to give each of the 8 promotional pictures of to get ready for Sunday. So we don't want to keep him too much longer, but we'll get a couple more. Hector Ledesma, Sports Tonight. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Patty, how are you?
Good, mate. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Patty. You mentioned how it's a great honor to be the longest tenured Spur and how you take that responsibility seriously. Is this part of why you've decided to do this? Kind of the hope that maybe the younger guys on the team kind of see by example, and it's a reminder, a reinforcement of that Spurs team culture in the community as well.
Look, to be honest, mate, I do see myself as that leader for this team in particular, and it's what I've learned over my times. But that's something that has always been there, right? It's always been to be able to set an example, no matter what it's in, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the court, whether it's in the doing rehab, all that little stuff. If I'm able to set example for myself first, and then hopefully have the younger guys follow, then that's how I approach that leadership role. So this just happens to be one of those things, and that I know that they will get behind too once they understand what we're doing here. So look, it isn't the main reason, mate, but it's more so the main core values of how I approach leadership as a professional athlete, and try to do that.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, Patty. We got two more. We'll go Jackie Wayne, Rivard Report, and then Jeff McDonald will wrap us up. Jackie, go ahead.
Hi, I'll be quick. First question is there a match limit or goal for this campaign?
Yeah, so the match will be what I'm matching the total revenues of the 8 coffee shops, but I'll double that too and donate to the charity myself.
Okay, and you picked Mother's Day for this to happen, and the hashtag is Give Mama a Hug, or what was that? Coffee, yeah. Is there a reason why you decided to pick Mother's Day for this? Because it's, a day that people go out with their families, they're celebrating. Why did you want to pair this with Mother's Day?
I think it all kind of was an opportunity where stars kind of aligned in this sense, where Mother's Day was coming up, and we were we're making an impact here on an issue that involved mothers and their children. So it kind of was a stars aligning and kind of one of those types of deals. At the same time, Texans love driving and getting in their cars and driving. So if they are doing that, for Mother's Day, drop by one of these 8 coffee shops and buy your mum a coffee, as well as the rest of the other people in the car, and understand that you're giving back in a major way at the same time. And just to reiterate that too, I think this is a small example of being able to boost the economy that way by supporting small local businesses. So again, hopefully this is just igniting a fire that will catch a trailblaze, hopefully, and turn this into something bigger throughout the country.
Thanks, Patty. We only got time for one more. Sorry, guys, but Jeff, you want to take us home? One more quick question.
Yeah, you sort of mentioned it at the end of the last answer about boosting the economy, but did that come out of some of your conversations with these small business coffee owners that they're hurting at this time, and that was sort of maybe the first jumping off point to start something to help them out?
I knew that obviously businesses, just from research and that, I knew that was a hurt place. Obviously not only coffee but throughout. And I think the important thing here was how I can tie a lot of things together here. That's like I guess that was the toughest part of this whole process, was being able to do one campaign that can tie multiple stuffs together in a clear way that people understand. So, mate, to be honest, one's not ahead of the other. This was a joint effort, and being able to just tie things together and then stars aligned on the backside of that. But from the coffee shop standpoint, mate, to be honest with you, they had no idea that this was going on. And then I reached out to them once we had a model of how this would happen. And, it wasn't like they were asking for this or they needed it. They reached out needing it. It was me just like, here's the model. This is what I want to do. Do you want to be involved? That kind of way.
Patty, thanks so much for your time, man. I know you've been super busy with this coming together on Sunday. Appreciate everybody hopping on and giving us your time, and appreciate you, Patty. Thank you very much.
I'll just make one last request, guys. The thing that we didn't touch on was just the safety procedures and protocols. Having a voice over social media the last 7-8 weeks of being able to respect the stay-at-home guidelines and all the safety procedures. That's something that all the coffee shops and I've seen myself have been put in place and a blueprint to be able to make this thing happen. So, wearing masks, washing hands, people that are working are wearing gloves and constantly going to be changing gloves. But the safety procedures that we're taking with this is another thing that I want to be able to shed light on, because again, we're in a pandemic here, and to be able to stop this pandemic while we're encouraging people to celebrate Mother's Day and give back this way is still a major focus of of the real pandemic that we're going through here with COVID-19.
Awesome. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you very much, guys. Good to see you. Stay healthy.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'll send this video out right now momentarily, but we appreciate you guys hopping on such short notice and participating in Patty's initiative. So thank you very much, and hope to see you guys soon.